Thank you very much. It's a great honor and privilege to be here today, and I would like to take, at the risk of upsetting the planners for this event, but she did say it was informal. I would like to take a moment, though, and say that I had the privilege of being a colleague of Judith Swain when we were young aides working for the Board of Supervisors here in Orange County. So as I watched the screen and I saw Judy's family up here today, it took me back to those moments when we were colleagues, and we began to talk about this vision that she had, and to see it realized 30 years later, making an incredible impact across the face of Orange County, is a real tribute to many in this room, but to her as the innovator, as the thinker, as the person who had the vision, because it is because of this foundation and because of the work of so many in this room that I am able to stand here before you today. I am the descendant, as has been mentioned, of a migrant farm working family. I grew up in a one-bedroom trailer that had no running water, no heating, no cooling, and no electricity. We borrowed the electricity, if you know what I mean. And I went on to become an Edison executive, ironically. But in the midst of lacking water and lacking electricity and lacking the material things that were so common for others, we did have a sense of purpose and determination, and I had a mother who was the inspiration, as a previous speaker alluded to as well. I think her mother and my mother must have gone to the same early school for mother's training or something, because my mother made a decision that we were going to break the cycle of poverty as migrant farm workers, and that we were not going to live making a living doing the back-breaking work of harvesting grapes, strawberries, string beans, apples, and all of the agricultural products that we enjoy on such a readily and accessible basis today. And my mother decided, even though she and my father never graduated from high school, that the path out of poverty was going to be education. And so it is that she made it a priority very, very early on in our lives that we were going to break that cycle of poverty. Now, as a modern-day parent, I have an appreciation for the modern-day techniques that parents use to motivate their children to meet the academic objectives of our modern times. While my mother was not into modern-time techniques, she was not into arbitration, mediation, negotiation, incentives. She was not into monetary rewards or gifts or anything of the sort. When we didn't want to do our homework, she just simply went out into the yard, broke a little branch of inspiration off of a tree, and came at us. Now, I want to be clear about something, because when I shared this at a speech in Chicago, a woman alarmingly came running up to me after a speech with great concern and said, "Ambassador Vasquez, I'm concerned that you may have been an abused child when you were young." I said, "Madam, let me assure you, I was not an abused child. I was a highly motivated child." My mother's priorities became her instant priorities, and my instant priorities, and everybody's priorities. And so you can imagine the delight that she had when I graduated from college, which also was an interesting path, because I remember that in the midst of poverty, my father sat me down as I was in my senior year of high school. And he said, "Gaddi, I want to apologize that I don't have the wherewithal, the finances, and the money to be able to pay for you to go to college." But my father was a man of faith. And he said, "But I believe that God will provide." And literally weeks later, a letter arrived from then Chapman College offering me admission and a scholarship to be admitted to Chapman College, where I am proud to say I now serve on the board of trustees of that college. And so Jim Doty doesn't correct my record, Chapman University. It was Chapman College in my day. But that opened a path of opportunity to explore new areas, to realize some of my dreams, hopes, and aspirations. And fast forward a little bit, when I was nominated to be a United States ambassador and previously had served as the director of the United States Peace Corps and traveled the world extensively, it gave me a line of sight to human suffering, poverty, disease, and all of the conditions that people suffer around the world on a daily basis. But I always came back to Orange County, this unique and great place where philanthropy, as evidenced by today, is alive and well. And your generosity and your giving is making a huge, huge difference. And so you can imagine my mother's pride from that day of that one-bedroom trailer to sitting in the hall of the State Department in the Benjamin Franklin room, to raise my right hand and to become a United States ambassador, one generation removed from my grandparents who came across the border with dreams, hopes, and aspirations. This is a great country with great opportunity. And so it is that years later, I would convene a meeting of Latino leaders here in Orange County, not far from here at the Pacific Club. Because at the time, we were seeing a trend in the Latino community that young Latinos were dropping out of high school in catastrophic numbers, alarmingly so. And I convened a group of Latino leaders and I said, this is a problem and we need to take ownership, because if we don't, nobody else is. Now, I want to assure you that I had the door locked because I was about to make an ask. And the ask of those leaders that day, when someone said, well, how much money are we talking about? And I said, well, I think the target, $1 million might be a good thing. This was 25 plus years ago. Fortunately, they all hung in. And today, the Orange County Hispanic Education Endowment Fund, a fund that collaborates and is partnering with the Orange County Community Foundation, for whom we are tremendously grateful, because it is that partnership that has grown the endowment fund here in Orange County from $1 million to today $4.1 million in the Orange County Hispanic Education Endowment Fund. But more important than the amount, ladies and gentlemen, is a reality that over 2,300 Latino men and women, young men and women, boys and girls, have shared in over $2.7 million in scholarships right here in Orange County over those 25 years. And so together we've been able to realize the dreams and the hopes and aspirations. And I pray and hope that all of us who are committed to philanthropy, but more importantly to making our communities more vibrant, stronger, positioning young men and women for success in their lives, giving people opportunity to realize their aspirations as I did. For I would not stand before you today as a U.S. ambassador, as the director of the Peace Corps, as a corporate executive, had it not been for men and women in a caring community who are willing to make a personal sacrifice and dedicate themselves to the proposition that I had some potential to give something back to my community, this county which I love and which has been my home for decades. And so that as we're here together, probably the best evidence that I can give you is not so much words, is not so much what I write about the Hispanic Endowment Fund has done, but I want to say to each and every one of you who have given, who have mentored, who have supported this cause, who have supported this purpose, I want you to know that there are many, many, many other people in this room who are also grateful, and I'm going to introduce you to just a few. Alex Serna. Alex enrolled at Santa Ana College at age 17 before successfully transferring to UC Berkeley, where he became the first in his family to graduate college thanks to passionate mentors and impactful organizations like the Hispanic Education Endowment Fund. He went on to earn a master's degree from UCLA. And Alex serves as the executive director of Breakthrough San Juan Capistrano and is a passionate advocate for college access and education equality. His work has been published in outlets including the New York Times. Ladies and gentlemen, a Heath Scholar, Alex Serna. Martha Rivera. Martha was born and raised in Santa Ana, where she attended the Orange County High School of the Arts. A first-generation Heath Scholar, she went to Chapman University, yay, on a scholarship before earning her master's in education, human development, and psychology from Harvard. Martha is now devoted to giving back to the community she came from and helping students attain their dream of higher education, and currently serves as Family and Community Engagement Coordinator at Santa Ana Unified School District. Ladies and gentlemen, Martha Rivera. Aracely Gonzalez Guerrero. Aracely was born and raised in Santa Ana, where she attended Saddleback High School, before attending both UCLA and Brigham Young Law School on HEAF scholarships. Today, Aracely has her own law practice in Santa Ana focused on immigration and volunteers at Serve the People in Santa Ana, providing free immigration consultations. Ladies and gentlemen, Aracely Gonzalez Guerrero. Their stories and their success, and they have journeys yet ahead, are a result of the Hispanic Education Endowment Fund and the Orange County Community Foundation working together, collaborating to identify these young men and women on whose shoulders others will stand in the future to build a stronger nation, to build a stronger state, and to build a stronger Orange County. Ladies and gentlemen, you have supported HEAF, and for that we are grateful. You have supported scholarships for students like these, and we thank you. You have been supportive of education and after-school programs, and we thank you. And you have been providing access to college. This is the future, and you are part of it. For all of that, we say thank you. But I also mentioned that there was a scripture written that said and says, "What you sow, that ye shall reap." Today, you are seeing some of the harvest. We thank you for your kind and generous support.